Now at 9, Oklahoma authorities arrest 2 people in connection with a homicide investigation.
A world of fall and fairy tales is coming to Wildcat Glades, hoping to get families excited about nature. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
We're learning new details about this morning's shooting at an ICE facility in Texas. I'm Sarah Legray in Dallas. I'll have the latest coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Kansas Senator Roger Marshall blames Democrats for demanding additional spending as Washington faces a funding crisis. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. A government shutdown looms with a deadline set for next Wednesday, October 1st, after the Senate failed to advance the House Republican bill. Now, the measure would have kept agencies funded through November 21st. With both parties searching for compromise, President Trump said on Truth Social Tuesday that meeting with Democratic leaders would not be productive at this time. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall says Republicans are offering a reasonable compromise in the budget standoff.
We've offered to the Democrats just to continue things at the spending levels they set. So really the levels we're talking about, every Democrat in the Senate voted for last December. But now they're wanting to add $1.5 trillion of spending, borrowing that money from our grandchildren. And the Republicans, myself, were saying, no, let's keep things at the same spending level until we get things sorted out a little bit further. So a short stopgap measure here for the next couple of months is what we're proposing.
Now, meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries released a joint statement saying, in part, Democrats have been clear that we are willing to sit down and work toward an agreement that protects the health care of the American people and improves their quality of life. The OSBI arrests 2 people in a Northeast Oklahoma homicide investigation. Jacob Bailey and Renee Carpenter face charges in connection to a death investigation from Monday. That morning, Veneta police officers responded to a property along South Foreman Street. Officers found an adult male victim who was taken to a local hospital where he died. The investigation determined he suffered injuries consistent with homicide. His name has not been released. Both Carpenter and Bailey are in the Craig County Jail. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, of course, we have more showers, even had a few thunder showers out there for us today and through the evening hours. But here's the great news. We have a lot of improvements as we go through the next few days, even though we needed the rain. But sunny skies return tomorrow. We're looking at temperatures into the upper 70s, which is about perfect for this time of the year. In fact, 80s rolling back in, maybe a little warm, but 80s rolling back in as we head into the weekend. All right, light showers dying off, rolling out. I think for most of the night we look pretty good. We may get some fog in here by morning, so we'll keep our eyes on that. Great temperatures, upper 50s to near 60 degrees. We should top out 77, 78 degrees for afternoon highs on a Thursday, so pretty close to where we should be. Our average high is 79 degrees, 69 for us today. We'll look at the sunshine returning here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Millions of dollars will soon flow into Neosho, Missouri to purchase the city's water and wastewater systems. Missouri American Water says it will purchase both for $34.5 million. The agreement received unanimous approval from the Neosho City Council after its submission by the Missouri Public Service Commission. Now, this is footage from the town hall back in August when the sale was discussed. The Neosho system provides water and wastewater services to more than 5,000 customers. Per the agreement, Neosho customers will continue to pay their existing water and wastewater rates. The deal also includes a nearly $35 million investment in system improvements. The acquisition is expected to be complete by the second half of 2026, pending Service Commission approval. Well, a new partnership announced this week has the community excited for this year's Ghostly Glades event. Wildcat Glades is welcoming Drakenmore, a beloved Joplin Halloween destination that isn't planning to open on its own this year. Together, they plan to create a magical evening focused on making learning fun. KOAM's Samantha Walker has the details.
Right now, this may look like a regular trail here at Wildcat Glades, but in just a few weeks, it's going to be transformed into a magical world of fairy tales and dragons.
This is our 8th annual Ghostly Glades event, and this year's theme is glowing trails and fairy tales. It's very kid-friendly, it's not spooky, it's mostly educational. They're going to learn in a really neat way utilizing fairy tales.
Groups will be guided down the trail where they'll meet different characters who'll teach them about things like native plants, animals, and light pollution.
Really, that's what we do as naturalists. We trick people into learning things. That's usually just the way that we do pretty much any kind of education. People don't realize they're learning when they're having fun.
This year's magic is coming together with the help of Drakenmore, a Joplin Halloween hotspot. Organizers at Drakenmore announced they're taking a break this year, citing financial challenges and traffic issues as part of the reason. It won't look like the typical Drakenmore, but now small parts of the popular stop will be used at Ghostly Glades as elements of the fairy tale themed event.
Really neat props, which really helps us out because it helps with the budget, extremely helps with the budget since this is a free event. And they also are going to be bringing out some different educational elements.
The partnership is a way for them to still help the community celebrate the season through education.
We're pretty excited to partner with them. They love doing this. This is their way of still getting to enjoy the season, but without some of the hassle.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Well, families are required to register in advance for a slot during the two-day event, October 24th and 25th. Spots fill up quickly too, but you're encouraged to check back in to see future availability. Well, if you're looking for events right here in the 4 states but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. This handy QR code will take you straight to the events page of our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Just scan it with your phone and you'll find information on all kinds of family fun events, including plenty of information on fall festivals and spooky haunted houses. The events page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, coming up, help for Ukraine.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky comes to the UN pleading for more help in his country's fight with Russia. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
But up first, a health fair in Pittsburgh focuses on an often overlooked population, seniors who need help finding community resources. Sometimes senior citizens can be an overlooked member of the community. But as KOAM's Ty Park shows us, the goal of a Health Resource Expo in Pittsburgh aims to help get them the information and resources they need.
Pittsburgh YMCA is hosting a senior health fair. The health fair is centered on seniors because
seniors can be often forgotten about, and there's so many resources in the community that are at their fingertips that they're not even aware of. So having it and having them come in, see what they can get in their community, in their county, whether it's health care, financial help.
Over 15 different vendors are at the health fair and all the resources are free. The local health department is also there doing blood pressure screenings. Some of the tables are for fitness, home health, and hospice.
It's a normal part of life, and that we are there to help people at the end of life and just be an extra support for them. And hospice doesn't have to be scary. Everybody does die, and we're there to help them have the best quality of life at end of life.
Every aspect of life that can impact the life of a senior can be found at this fair.
I hope that when it comes time that they need the help in the home, or they can no longer be at home and they have to go somewhere, if they're struggling financially, they need help with their insurance, whether it's traditional Medicare, Advantage plans, any of those things, they know exactly who to call.
In Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Well, organizers say this is the first year of the health fair. They have already attracted enough interest to host the fair again. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, the Southeast Kansas Symphony continues a decade-long tradition with young students.
Well, again, today we had showers, scattered showers, and a few thunder showers out there. Not as heavy as what we had on Tuesday, but And they were definitely out there. In fact, I pulled up rainfall amounts over the past 48 hours because we all got widespread rain, which was great. We needed it. Kansas and Oklahoma kind of averaged 1 to 2 inches over the past 48 hours. Now remember, we had scattered thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday as well. A little heavier Missouri into Arkansas, kind of 1, 2, 3, some isolated 4, 5, 6 inch amounts once you get down through Lawrence and also Berry County, and then into Benton County near Beaver Lake. But we are going to start to dry things out. These showers kind of dying off, rotating out of here. So let me walk you through time. We're going to go into Thursday morning. Now, we may have a little bit of patchy fog out there to start. Just the winds are going to be light. We have the moisture on the ground. 58, 59 degrees to kick your Thursday off. By the noon hour, we're up into the mid 70s. I think most of us top out 77, 78, maybe a 79 for afternoon highs. Thursday evening, it looks great. Slide back through 70s, 60s into the mid 50s. So you can open up the windows, almost a little cool by Friday morning. And then once we go into Friday afternoon, fantastic way to roll into the weekend. Smidge warmer, 79 or 80 for afternoon highs on Friday. Here's your day planner: 58 in the morning, 74 by noon, 77 by 4. High temp right around 78 degrees. Let's jump into Friday night. We have Forest State Friday night. High school football, fantastic weather. Kickoff 73. 66 by the fourth quarter, so just about perfect for high school weather, of course, in the end of September. All right, so we've been seeing the rain over the past couple days due to this upper level wave right out, well, now pushing the eastern third of the country. But I want you to notice this. There's a whole bunch of nothing. That is going to be our weather as we go through the next several days. Just no big storm systems heading in our direction, which we could use a little bit of a break. All right, so temperatures, they pop up a little bit though. As we go into Saturday, kind of 83 or 84, which isn't bad, but it's above average for this time of the year. On Sunday, we're going to do pretty much the same thing, 83, 84, maybe 85 degrees. I do want to point out, look at the jet stream. So these white lines getting closer, the winds are getting stronger. That's our jet stream. So it's starting to strengthen now that we go into October. But the lower 48, it's just disorganized stuff over about the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days until we get into the first weekend of October. Then we'll start to see some changes. But we're going to have a pretty good stretch of not a whole bunch going on. 78 on Thursday, 80 on Friday. Let's go 84s Saturday and Sunday, and then we kind of hold into lower 80s most of next week.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the Southeast Kansas Symphony Orchestra carried on a tradition this week that's been going strong for more than a decade. Hundreds of 4th and 5th grade students from area schools packed into the Bicknell Family Center for the Arts for the annual children's concert. Each year, the event takes on a new theme. Last year, it was superheroes. This year, the focus is Hispanic music. Organizers hope the concert sparks a passion for music in the next generation, whether it inspires them to pick up an instrument, join a choir, or simply become lifelong lovers of the arts.
Yeah, so it's in a way, this concert also helps introducing young children to the idea of, when you get older, you could be doing this, or this is like one thing that you could choose to invest your time in.
Miranda says even if one student walks away with that same inspiration, the mission of the concert is accomplished. Coming up next, the trucking industry's real crisis.
They say we have a shortage of truckers in this country. Do we? I'm Jeff Locke along the New Jersey Turnpike, and I'll have the answer when we come back.
According to estimates from the American Trucking Association, the nation continues to experience a shortage of truck drivers with a deficit of about 60,000 workers. Now, those in the industry say there's a slew of factors making it harder for them to compete and earn a living. And as Jeff Locke reports, it's leading to calls for reform.
We hear a lot about the shortage of truckers, but talking to truckers themselves, they say the real problem is a shortage of qualified drivers. That's what the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, heard when he visited the Molly Pitcher rest stop along the New Jersey Turnpike. He was announcing 2 pilot programs easing some regulations on truckers on this Trucker Appreciation Week. But he was told by the truckers that forcing to compete with truckers that don't care about any regulations are the real problems.
Let's keep the playing field level.
Many of them, the truckers say, coming from outside the U.S., some that may be here illegally and may not even speak English. Requiring English proficiency has been a priority of the Trump administration since the case of Hajinder Singh. He is a trucker who got a license in California, and he caused a crash in Florida that killed 3 people. 3 states have been warned by Secretary Duffy, New Mexico, California, and Washington, that they must comply with English proficiency for truck drivers.
New Mexico is showing signs that they're going to comply with us. Washington and California, not so much. But there's a lot of other strings that we can pull to make sure we get compliance.
The truckers we talked to say that unfair competition is helping drive freight rates down and putting honest truckers out of business.
Those that utilize them are only doing it because this is a group of people that they know they can get to work cheap. Exploit them.
It's hard to think of anything we don't buy, eat, or sell that doesn't come to us by truck. Consequently, the health of that industry is pretty important. The Molly Pitcher rest stop on the New Jersey Turnpike. I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
Well, anyone looking to obtain a commercial driver's license can look no further than Fort Scott Community College. The school offers a 6-week training program that combines classroom and hands-on instruction. Upon completion of the final exam, students can get their license, allowing them to drive large trucks.
The CDL program is very sought after program because there's such a shortage of truck drivers in the United States. There's literally millions of trucks running the roads in the United States, and it's one of the biggest industries with such a huge shortage in the United States. So a lot of students want to get their CDLs, and there's drivers out there in the world right now that's making 6 figures. It's a very good career.
The program was initially based in Pittsburgh before moving to Fort Scott this past spring. Handley says the program's goal is for 100% job placement. Coming up next, Carthage residents learn new ways to recycle and reduce waste. Vision Carthage hosts a free recycling workshop at the Studley Family Legacy Center. It's part of the group's Restoration Carthage initiative. The event, held in partnership with the Carthage Recycling Center and Public Library, aims to keep Carthage clean and beautiful. Tonight's workshop focused on upcycling and featured a safe paint disposal demonstration, helping residents learn practical ways to recycle and reduce waste.
To show people that it's fairly easy to recycle paint. Lots of people don't know what to do with it. It's just stored in the garage, and it's very simple. We just want to make sure that it's disposed of properly so that it's not getting into the soil and the water.
Attendees also received information and vouchers for the upcoming citywide Dumpster Day cleanup event. That's on October 4th. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The second attack on a Texas immigration facility in months leaves 1 dead. The FBI calls it targeted violence. And Ukraine's president warns world leaders that Putin could expand the war into Europe without action.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. At least 1 person is killed and 2 others hurt after a shooter opened fire on an ICE facility in Dallas. Fox News' Sarah Allegra has the latest.
Immigration agents are on edge after investigators say they were targeted by a sniper here in Dallas. Now, the Department of Homeland Security is saying a bit earlier they've confirmed at least 1 fatality. Federal investigators spent the day combing through a Dallas rooftop. They say that's where a gunman took aim at an ICE field office.
We believe that he was shooting at law enforcement and the detainees from an apartment building, that it looks like the detainees were among the victims.
Officers say the shooter took his own life as police closed in, and ICE confirms the detainees shot were sitting inside a transport van at the time of the attack.
The shooter was firing indiscriminately throughout the whole building. We found bullets throughout the entire building. that had punctured into the facility.
The motive's still a mystery, but FBI Director Kash Patel shared this photo of bullets found nearby. One had anti-ICE written on it.
The FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence.
Officials say no ICE agents were hurt. Now, this comes just months after another attack on a Texas immigration facility. Prosecutors called that one a planned ambush.
This is the second time I've had to stand in front of you and talk about a shooter at one of my facilities, and I think that the takeaway from all of this is that the rhetoric has to stop.
ICE says the detainees are being processed here at the office before being moved to a long-term detention facility. In Dallas, Sarah Allegre, Fox News.
Families of the 67 people killed when a passenger airliner and an Army helicopter collided over Washington, D.C. in January are suing the government and the airlines involved. It was the deadliest U.S. plane crash in more than 2 decades. The lawsuit filed Wednesday seeks to hold the FAA, the U.S. Army, American Airlines, and its regional partner, PSA Airlines, accountable for the mid-air collision. Other families are expected to join the lawsuit brought by the widow of crash victim Casey Crafton. Now, Doug Lane, whose wife and 16-year-old son both died on Flight 5342, spoke at Wednesday's news conference.
While today is about Casey Crafton and his beautiful family, I, along with a number of other family members affected by this collision, are here to deliver the message that the Crafton family are not on this journey alone. Over 120 of us that were affected by this tragedy have banded together to become something both beautiful and powerful. We've supported each other through birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, weddings that were planned but never held.
The NTSB has identified likely contributing factors in the air disaster, including that the Army helicopter was flying too high. The Army released a statement saying, in part, quote, "Out of respect for the deceased, their families, and the ongoing investigation, it is inappropriate for the Army to comment on litigation." Ukraine's president addressed the United Nations one day after President Trump gave his surprising boost to his country's prospects in its fight to drive Russia out of its territory. Russia's top diplomat is also at the UN meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has the latest from Washington.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called on world leaders to take action against Russia Wednesday or risk Vladimir Putin expanding the war into Europe.
International law doesn't work fully unless you have powerful friends who are truly willing to stand up for it.
In his address to the UN General Assembly, Zelensky said the world is in the most destructive arms race in human history.
Weapons decide who survives.
This comes just a day after President Trump's apparent reversal on Ukraine's chances at victory. Trump said with NATO's help, the embattled nation could retake all the territory it had lost to Russia.
It was supposed to be just a quick little skirmish. It's not making Russia look good. It's making them look bad.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio sat down with Russia's foreign minister in New York Wednesday, but did not answer any questions about the ongoing push for peace. Meanwhile, Democrats have had plenty to say.
Trump thought he could sweet talk his friend Vladimir into ending his aggression against Ukraine. And in fact, what Putin did was increase his assault on Ukraine.
President Trump says if Russia isn't willing to make a deal to end the war, the U.S. is prepared to impose powerful tariffs. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
The 4 astronauts set to venture around the moon on Artemis 2 shared an update today on their first crewed NASA mission aimed at eventually establishing a long-term presence at the moon. Mission Commander Reed Wiseman says liftoff for the approximately 10-day Artemis 2 test flight, scheduled to launch by next April, will happen when the time is right.
I know this week NASA has said that we're going to open the launch window in early February, and we just do not anchor on dates. We are going to launch when this vehicle is ready, when this team is ready, and we are going to go execute this mission to the best of our abilities. When we get off the planet, we might come right back home. We might spend 3 or 4 days around Earth. We might go to the moon. That's where we want to go, but it is a test mission, and we are ready for every scenario as we ride this amazing space launch system and the Orion spacecraft 250,000 miles away.
During Wednesday's news conference, the Artemis II crew members announced they have named their Orion spacecraft Integrity. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later we take you inside Stargate.
The largest AI infrastructure project in America just got even bigger. I'm Madison Allworth with Fox Business in Texas. Coming up, I'll tell you where Stargate is expanding to and just how much money is going into making this project a reality.
Well, again, today we had showers, scattered showers, and a few thunder showers out there. Not as heavy as what we had on Tuesday, but they were definitely out there. In fact, I pulled up rainfall amounts over the past 48 hours because we all got widespread rain, which was great. We needed it. Kansas and Oklahoma kind of averaged 1 to 2 inches over the past 48 hours. Now, remember, we had scattered thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday as well. A little heavier Missouri into Arkansas, kind of 1, 2, 3, some isolated 4, 5, 6 inch amounts once you get down through Lawrence and also Berry County, and then into Benton County near Beaver Lake. But we are going to start to dry things out. These showers kind of dying off, rotating out of here. So let me walk you through time. We're going to go into Thursday morning. Now, we may have a little bit of patchy fog out there to start. Just the winds are going to be light. We have the moisture on the ground. 58, 59 degrees to kick your Thursday off. By the noon hour, we're up into the mid 70s. I think most of us top out 77, 78, maybe a 79 for afternoon highs. Thursday evening looks great. Slide back through 70s, 60s into the mid 50s. So you can open up the windows, almost a little cool by Friday morning. And then once we go into Friday afternoon, fantastic way to roll into the weekend. Smidge warmer, 79 or 80 for afternoon highs on Friday. Here's your day plan of 58 in the morning, 74 by noon, 77 by 4. High temp right around 78 degrees. Let's jump into Friday night. We have Forest State Friday night. High school football, fantastic weather. Kickoff 73. 66 by the fourth quarter, so just about perfect for high school weather, of course, in the end of September. All right, so we've been seeing the rain over the past couple days due to this upper level wave right out, well, now pushing the eastern third of the country. But I want you to notice this. There's a whole bunch of nothing. That is going to be our weather as we go through the next several days. No big storm systems heading in our direction, which we could use a little bit of a break. All right, so temperatures, they pop up a little bit though. As we go into Saturday, kind of 83 or 84, which isn't bad, but it's above average for this time of the year. On Sunday, we're going to do pretty much the same thing, 83, 84, maybe 85 degrees. I do want to point out, look at the jet stream. So these white lines getting closer, the winds are getting stronger. That's our jet stream. So it's starting to strengthen now that we go into October. But the lower 48, it's just disorganized stuff over about the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days until we get into the first weekend of October. Then we'll start to see some changes. But we're going to have a pretty good stretch of not a whole bunch going on. 78 on Thursday, 80 on Friday. Let's go 84s Saturday and Sunday, and then we kind of hold into lower 80s most of next week.
Well, it looks like I needed that dry out to mow this weekend. Well, still ahead, former Pitt State star Cordell Tinch was back in Pittsburgh this past weekend. We'll hear from him, and the Parsons Vikings find success early on this season with their seniors leading the way. Those stories and more coming up in sports.
Last year, it took 4 games for the Parsons Vikings to pick up their first win of the season. But with strong leadership in 2025, it only took half the time after defeating Fort Scott on the road in Week 2. For this Parsons team, it all starts with that senior class that features 10 athletes. And despite the majority of the Vikings roster being underclassmen, the class of 2026 has emphasized and focused on their leadership while leaving a legacy that the community can be proud of.
Definitely better than any year I've been in school. I think our class has done a way better job, and I think it's definitely helped the younger guys because we got a bunch of them playing both sides, all the time. And I think the senior leadership has been a big part of making them able to do that.
It gets emotional. Like, it's my last year probably playing high school football, probably football in general. You want to really stamp your name into the legacy, but even more, I want to stamp the class of 26 into that legacy to the point where like people can look back and be like, man, that class of 26, those guys are some dogs. You know, next year I hope they look back and be like, yeah, that's who we want to follow after, the class of 26.
Over the past couple of seasons, Parsons has changed their identity on offense, focusing on the ground game with a run-heavy scheme. With a lot of youth on the team, the Vikings' offensive line is filled with sophomores. But as the season progresses, the men in the trenches are developing a dangerous rushing attack, led by running back Chandler Henson.
We want to establish the run, and this year we're about 75-25 run versus pass. We want to run the football. We've got a young line. We started 4 sophomores on the line week 1 and then 3 sophomores on the line week 2. A couple of those guys started as freshmen for us, so the future on the offensive line is bright. We have a good stable of running backs.
I just go into every game thinking that there's nobody in the state that can mess with me. I mean, I think that's the mindset you have to have at running back, is just simply that the guy on the opposite side of the ball trying to stop me just can't compete with me.
The Vikings return home this week as they battle the Lions of Baxter Springs. Kickoff set for 7 p.m. Last week, former Pitt State track and field star Cordell Tinch etched himself in the history books, becoming a world champion at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. And after showing out on the biggest stage, it didn't take long for him to come back home. On Saturday, Tinch, a 5-time NCAA Division II national champion, returned to the Sunflower State, rooting on the Gorillas football team as they defeated Fort Hays State. After being recognized at halftime by the crowd in the jungle at Carney Smith Stadium, I caught up with the world champion as he reflects on his journey.
It's just a lot of me being grateful and thankful for, being in the position I'm in, being able to get the opportunity here at Pitt to start the ball rolling for all of what we've accomplished, and, just keeping faith. Those are probably the 3 words I can say is faith, thankfulness, and just gratitude. I used to think Lawrence was my second home of how much time I spent in Kansas, but Pitt State is definitely now my second home. Being able to come here and, the coaches having their belief in me, the city having the belief in me, even the team having their own belief in me, and being able to come here and now I can actually say being able to perform as the best in the world is insane.
Tinch's focus now turns to his training for the 2026 World Athletics Ultimate Championships in Budapest. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank announced major expansions to their Stargate data centers. Fox's Madison Allworth is in Texas with details.
Stargate is one of the largest infrastructure projects in American history, and it just got bigger. OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank announcing 5 new Stargate data centers. Locations span across 3 states, with an additional one to be announced in the Midwest. This brings Stargate to nearly 7 gigawatts of planned capacity and over $400 billion in investments over the next 3 years. That's putting them on a clear path to the $500 billion, 10 gigawatt commitment made in January under the Trump administration. But some critics say that this is just 3 companies paying each other. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman tells me business is booming and revenue is coming from multiple avenues.
We have, I think, the fastest growing revenue of a company of all time. And that revenue from our consumers, our enterprises, all of the new stuff that's happening feeds into OpenAI, and then we pay Oracle and NVIDIA and much more. And that's where it's not circular, because it feeds in from the economy to OpenAI at the top level providing the service, and then we have to pay for all the infrastructure.
And we got a close-up look at all of that infrastructure. We were part of the first group of media to get access to the site since its opening in July. 8 buildings with 5 data halls each will be built on this 1,100 acres. It's hard to understand the pure size of this operation until you arrive there. It's like a mini city with roads, traffic jams, food tents, and around 6,000 people arriving for work each and every day. It took them a year and a half to get the first 2 buildings up. So Oracle says they've learned and they've gotten faster.
We're getting to the place where we're actually going to be bringing online more like 1 building a month in the first half of 2026. As we look to the other locations, it's exactly the same thing.
I also asked Sam Altman about future OpenAI devices, and he wouldn't nail down exactly what to expect, but he told me what not to expect. He said OpenAI will not be building a wearable pin. In Abilene, Texas, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
18 stars battle desert heat, snakes, and extreme conditions. We preview season 4 of The Toughest Test up next. Fox's Special Forces World's Toughest Test returns tomorrow night with season 4. This season's new group of celebrities will face grueling courses and challenges in an unforgiving desert. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with more.
Nothing that you've done is going to prepare you.
Fox's Special Forces World's Toughest Test returns for season 4. 18 new celebrity recruits take on grueling military-style challenges in the harsh deserts of Morocco, testing strength, survival, and mental toughness.
It was way more gnarly than we thought it would be. I mean, it got weird in there.
Lips were chapped. Yeah. We were sleeping with desert mice every night. We had poisonous snakes. Come on. We had one shower that we all had to rotate, take
cold
turns
water.
with.
Some of you call yourselves athletes.
This season introduces a new twist. Some participants enter the competition alongside family or partners, but they'll compete on their own.
We were separated quite a bit, which was good. I never wanted him to feel like he had to look out for me or worry about me because that's just natural for him, and same vice versa.
I'm glad we had each other because, we definitely, motivated each other.
Come on, Mom, we gotta go. You gotta keep going.
We are close. This bonded us even closer, and it's something that we'll never forget.
The contestants share the fears they had to face.
Going through the tunnels and all that kind of stuff, with claustrophobia and all that, I think that was really tough for me.
I'm terrified of heights, terrified of helicopters, and to put them together was wild.
Few will finish, but everyone walks away with a new respect for the military.
Our military is something else, because knowing what we went through for going
fun.
through the course for fun and what they go through on a daily basis, so much respect.
Get them up, get them up.
There's an experience you have with this that makes you appreciate what they suffer perpetually in order to protect us, protect the country, and keep us in a safe world.
Come here, come on, girl, come on.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a mob of kangaroos at a sanctuary in Australia. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.